I'm Vicki Hogarth and welcome to Southwest Magazine. My guest today is Jessie Dunfield, a nutrition and wellness coach at Simply for Life. Thank you for being here today, Jessie.
Thank you, Vicki, for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about your position at Simply for Life? I know it's a new building in St.Stephen. Can you tell me a little bit about the business itself and what you do there?
Yeah, sure. So Simply for Life has two complementary components. We have a market, and we sell healthier options of all your favorite snacks. We sell other carefully curated assortment of different health food products. And then really our big hit is people come in for healthy to-go meals. So they're made here in St. John, and they're practically homemade. And so instead of going for fast food, it's the same thing, except you're getting a much healthier option. I mean, how many times have we heard somebody say, I want to grab something great, but I don't have anything healthy to get. So, so we have that market. You don't have to be a member to shop there. But then we also have a nutrition and wellness coaching program as well. And that's where I come in because I'm the nutrition and wellness coach, as you were saying. And you can become a client, and we help you reach your nutrition and wellness goals.
Okay, I had the pleasure of visiting you at your office.
Yeah,
Can
we
you
appreciated
tell me
that.
a little bit about how it works if someone booked an appointment? What's the first thing you do in your first one-on-one with somebody who's interested in signing up?
Yeah, so what we recommend is that you come in for a information session. So it's a quick, it usually takes longer, but it's typically a 15-minute information session where you can come in and find out exactly what's right for you, and which package that you want to go with. So we offer them in 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month options. So it really depends on what your nutrition and wellness goals are.
Okay, and what would be the range of goals from, not to give away anyone's personal background, but what are some of the kind of situations people bring to you? What are mostly people wanting to change about how they live their life?
Well, we see all kinds of different, people come in with all kinds of different health issues and different goals. Most of the people that come in are looking for weight loss, so we definitely can help you with that. And then, but people also want to feel great, they want to have more energy. So we see all sorts of different health issues, everything from fibromyalgia to diabetes, type 2 diabetes is common, joint pain, people are tired, lethargic, they want more energy. So, by eating right, you can improve all those situations. Definitely, food is medicine. Mm-hmm. So that's how we can help people.
I think you were mentioning to me with something like type 2 diabetes. If you change your diet, is it something that you can change for yourself easily?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we have seen really big improvements for people that are type 2 diabetics. So I do have one client who is taking 2 units less of her insulin with, of course, medical supervision. And, so she's doing really well on the program, and she's seen a big improvement.
All right. And I know that you are a trained chef too. So you must give obviously some cooking advice, because obviously not every meal would be something you could necessarily buy pre-made for you. But do you give people advice on how to prepare things or what kind of foods to prepare?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is when you come in and you sign, if you decide to sign up, we give you a quick start menu. It's also an anti-inflammation menu. And so that is a more general menu. But we find that a lot of people have inflammation. A lot of people, it really just helps people learn the methodology that we use and start to get used to it and kind of lean into the program. But then after the first week, we give you a cleansing menu, and it's, cleansing sounds like you're going to be getting fruit juices or maybe, supplements for lunch or something. But it's a real menu with real food, and those are based on your preferences. So at that point, we give you recipes. And we also give you access to our website. So on our website, we have hundreds of different recipes as well that you could switch out. Mm-hmm. And they're all, healthy and nutritious, and they all follow our guideline that can help you get to your wellness goals.
All right. Well, I've been lucky enough to try some of the things you've made in the past, and they are delicious. So I'd love to hear your recipe advice.
Yeah.
What are some of the mistakes people make? I know that, for instance, just assuming something's diet, you can eat as much as you want, or maybe doing a diet that is really unrealistic to your lifestyle. What are some of the mistakes you see people make commonly, and and what do you tell them to avoid?
Well, at Simply for Life, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And what I do see is that a lot of people that go on these, different types of diets, often they can be very successful in the beginning, but they don't sustain it over the long term. So the minute that you stop doing it, you start gaining the weight back, and then often more weight. And there's statistics to back that up. There's studies that, it's not just anecdotal. So this is really a lifestyle. So we want people to be able to do it in the long term. So not just something that you can come in and we want you to learn the habits so that you can do it not just this year or next year, but 10 years from now, and you're eating more healthy.
Okay, so someone like me, so I probably do have more sugar than, but I would never have to cut that out completely, right? It would be maybe moderating it a little bit better, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. So it wouldn't be realistic to say just never eat sugar for the rest of your life. So we do help you find ways that you can put in those little treats or put in things that healthier treats, so that you don't have that craving and you're still enjoying your life. We understand that sometimes people have an anniversary to celebrate or a birthday to celebrate. Go ahead, enjoy, because what's really important is consistency over time. So what we find is that if you're consistent every day and you're making those little choices and those little good choices and little trade-offs consistently, then when you do have that piece of cake down the at somebody's birthday, or when you do have that glass of wine on the weekend, then it's not really going to matter that much.
Right.
But and so the great thing is it works the other, or unfortunately it also works the other way. So if you're making choices that are not helping you every day, then it does add up over time.
Right.
And that's what most people find, is that they're eating well. A lot of my clients do eat they eat pretty well, but it's just those little things, day in, day out, and and then it starts to creep on.
That's probably why many of us at the holidays, when there are more cookies around, you just can't help but graze, and you don't notice it so much, but maybe 4 weeks later it might show. Right. Moderation obviously being key. Do you do stuff like have people keep diaries of the food just so they can? I think sometimes maybe we're not aware. I can't tell you what I ate today. I know I just randomly had a muffin, but I would be probably in shock if I actually wrote down what I ate.
Well, you're not alone in that. Most people, I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. And most people can't. So if you really think about it, what did you have for lunch 2 days ago? Or what did so we eat unconsciously, absolutely. And so you're right. One of the great tools that we give people is a journal. And that journal, allows you to be accountable to yourself, and it keeps you conscious. It keeps you mindful of what you're eating. So you're thinking about it day in, every single day. And then if for some reason you're not achieving the result that you want, then I can look at the journal and I can say, oh, I think maybe this is the reason that it's not going the way you want it to.
Okay.
Yeah, so it works well for everybody.
And then do you believe in supplements as well? For instance, someone like me, I know I have low iron. I mostly try to achieve it through diet, but I do have supplement, and I kind of try to take them as regularly as I remember. I'm not great at it. Right. But do you believe in supplements too, or do you think diet should be the primary way that you?
Well, I think diets are great, our supplements rather, are a great addition to eating well. So obviously you want to get a lot of your nutrients from eating great food, but supplements really help as well. We find that a lot of people are deficient in things like D3. So we offer a supplement, D3 plus K2. It works better together. And so we recommend that on our menus for people. But of course it is optional, but we definitely recommend it. And so at Simply for Life, we do sell some supplements that we really stand behind and think are the key supplements that people are going to need to augment their diet.
Calories are obviously always a big topic when it comes to diet. I think some of us are maybe worse at the math than we think, or maybe just bad at understanding how. I know sometimes if you look at a fast food menu and you see the actual calories that are in something that you just order regularly, it's a little terrifying. Is that something that you address too, or do you have a different way of adding up the amount of energy you're consuming?
Well, what's great is that we really liberate you from calorie counting.
Okay.
So if you're eating properly, and if you're being mindful of what you're eating, and you're eating a balanced diet, and this is a very balanced diet. It's not a low carb diet. We have carbs on this diet. It's not, a high protein diet. It's not any. It's a menu. It's not a diet. And so, we definitely. Give you room to, so we definitely don't count calories. As long as you're eating a balanced diet, we find that tends to take care of itself.
Okay,
Yeah.
so someone like, I love bread.
Right.
There's certain things that are just irreplaceable. I
Right.
don't think I could sub out, but I would be willing to compromise maybe ice cream. I don't know. I'd have to really make a list and tell you.
You have some non-negotiables.
Yeah, bread is one of them for sure.
Yeah.
We should talk about the wellness side of things too. The diet obviously is a huge half of having a healthier lifestyle, but people might recognize you from a meditation show we did. I feel like it was 6 months ago, but this was maybe over a year ago now, at the start of COVID, when we were looking for actual advice for people at home trying to get a more balanced sense of wellness in the time of COVID. You were on here leading us all through a meditation, which was wonderful, and I've heard great feedback about it. But let's talk overall wellness, from exercise to meditation. How do you advise people to slowly integrate a healthier lifestyle in terms of exercise and mental well-being into their life?
Well, I think it is really important. So we really recognize the mind-body connection. There's definitely a psychological component to eating, and we really honor that. Some people want to delve into it more deeply, some people don't. So, it's really up to you. But mind-body is very important. So I personally like the mindfulness approach when it comes to eating, which is really taking the time to really appreciate your food, to enjoy it, we eat, as we were saying earlier, so unconsciously. Often we're not paying attention. We're just we're on the go. We're grabbing whatever is convenient or what's in front of us. And what if we were to shift that paradigm a little bit and really be appreciative of what we eat, really sit down and really take the time when we can, to taste it, to smell it, to really feel, to appreciate it. And we find that when people do that, they see big changes in how they eat, and they see, they start to appreciate their food in a different way. And then they start to, those other things that, those health issues, those, the weight, that starts to take care of itself.
So you do see, for some people, and they do want to delve into that, I know we've talked about the idea of, there's that expression, eating your emotions, but it can be true. And if we look at the time of COVID-19, I know there's been a joke that's been on social media about the COVID-19 as the new freshman 15. So I'm sure that many of us are dealing with stress with food. And are you able to talk people through those kind of things if they want to talk their way through them?
If they want to, we absolutely can. You're right. I mean, this has been a really difficult year, or a couple of years for a lot of people. COVID has hit a lot of us hard. And yes, we see that people have maybe not made the best choices always during COVID. So some people are coming in and saying, I have gained weight since the COVID thing happened. And so, we can look at the why and the emotional side of it. And I definitely can do that with certain clients, if they're amenable to it and if they're interested in doing it, because it is interesting to really kind of tackle what's underneath our eating, and our habits. And I see amazing results.
Wow. Yeah. In terms of exercise, you and I have discussed this before, it's definitely, especially Charlotte County, I think I have to share a car with my partner, so I walk a lot, which has been, it's weirdly sometimes I forget that there's a silver lining to it and that it keeps me healthy, because I do a lot of my errands by foot, but it's so easy not to if you have access to a car here, because everything usually is a bit of a drive away. How do you get people to integrate exercise? I'm, for instance, not the kind of person who, I don't remember the last time I went to a gym. I exercise by randomly integrating it into parts of my day and not thinking of it as exercise, but I will walk somewhere, no problem. But if you told me to put runners on and go for a run, I wouldn't do it. So how do you work with someone maybe like me who would like to be more active but is really stubborn about making the actual gym allotted time for it?
Well, I think getting the exercise in is a challenge for a lot of us. A lot of us have really busy lives, and a lot of us haven't really learned to enjoy exercise and haven't learned to enjoy moving. So I really, I work more with the diet end of things, but obviously exercise is really important for the mind-body connection as well, and just for feeling really good. So if clients are interested, then we also can talk about how to get more, how to find the motivation, how to get more interested in, what to do, how to fit it into their day, and get more exercise into their routine as well. And I find that clients that do that often see a lot more success, especially right away.
I'm inspired by a lot of at the Garthland Civic Center. There's that great walking track.
I love that track. Yeah.
In St. Andrews, there's the spin drifters. They walk by my house every morning and remind me that I'm not.
Yeah.
But it is little things like that. Are there things like Fitbits that you think can be a really, not necessarily important, but a beneficial accessory to life to remind you to stay active?
Well, Fitbits can be a person's best friend if that works for them. Some people don't need it. Some people are just, they just have their little routine. They want to go for a walk every day. They don't necessarily need to know how many steps they take, or, but it is interesting to track that sort of thing. And, I think we were talking about this the other day, how just walking, even if you're not making an effort to walk per se, like go for a walk around town, but just really keeping active. Both of us, when we lived in bigger cities, walked a lot. And even though we weren't thinking about that as exercise, it did really help maintain weight for both of us. And so, just really maybe taking the stairs more frequently, or maybe walking to work if that's possible, or, these little things do pay off over time. And that really is the key, is little things, little choices that you make every single day. They all add up into so take small steps every day, but the big picture is it will add up over time.
Yeah, this is a total side note, but I found having like you mentioned, being a big city kid before, I accidentally walked everywhere because it was just easier to get somewhere by foot than to take a subway, and I didn't have a car. But here I have a dog, and that has been amazing because I can easily forget about my own life, and this is a fault of many humans. I think you forget sometimes to eat, to sleep properly, to exercise at all, because maybe you've had a busy day at work, so you decide that's what matters. But having a dog's reminded me just how routine a living being should be. I know that sounds crazy, but she needs to go outside and eat in the morning. And so she's been very helpful. And speaking of those mistakes that we make, what are some of the biggest mistakes people make that you see that they don't really see as mistakes, be it diet or exercise?
Well, it really depends on your goals. But I know one mistake I do see for people that want to lose weight is people think that just because something's healthy, they can eat as much of it as they want. So that's not necessarily true. Portion control is important, especially if you're trying to lose weight. So you can't eat, a massive bowl of lentils or chickpeas, or they're all still high in calories. They're still high in carbs. So you have to really watch that. We sell healthy options for snacks, but you don't want to be eating still a bag of maybe healthy chips, even though they are much better for you.
Right.
So you do have to be careful. And so that, I think, is one of the biggest mistakes or misnomers maybe that I see people make. And just really not being conscious, I think, and really not taking day-to-day responsibility for the choices that we make with our food. And we all do this. That's not meant as a judgment, but it's just so, we're so used to just eating what's in front of us, and we have our habits, and so we don't think about it. And so really being a little more conscious and aware of what we're putting in our bodies, I think is really important.
I think sometimes what stops people from the idea of, and I don't want to say dieting because I think it's the wrong word, but changing their lifestyle, is that they think it has to be this instant drastic decision, like tomorrow I'm going to start, and you always hear that expression, the diet starts tomorrow.
Right, yes.
But it doesn't have to be so extreme, right? As you were saying before. So what would be a few pieces of advice? Let's say someone's considering this, maybe they'll call you next week and book an appointment, but they want to just see if they're ready. What would be a few tips you would say, hey, change this or add this or take out that? That you would give them to say, let's just see if you can tweak the way you're already living a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I like, the first part of what you were saying, I think is really true. It's not about making drastic changes right away. It's about leaning in. It takes time to learn a new habit. So, don't expect some overnight success, especially if you want to sustain it over the long term. Now, lots of clients see great success right away, but that's not what it's really about. So, what I would say to people is we really have to look at their individual lifestyle, their individual situation, and then we can go from there. So, but I would, a lot of clients want to cut back on their sugar. Doesn't mean they can't eat sugar, but they just want to cut back on it. A lot of people don't eat regular meals, so that's important. So we want to look at eating more regularly. But, there are lots of different things that people do that we can work on with them to, but it's individual for each person.
Do you, one thing that can be totally misleading, and I'm a sucker for advertising and commercials as much as anyone, is that it can be intimidating just to go to a big grocery store and look at packaging and the promises made by different food companies for what is low calorie or low fat or carb free. Do you give people advice for when they're going about, I know obviously it's when you go to Simply for Life, you can advise them when they're there, but let's say they're going to a restaurant or to a big grocery store and they're trying to pick out what's healthy. Are you able to provide them with some advice on how to either order in a restaurant? Because I know things like even a simple Caesar salad can be really bad for you, and there's more calories sometimes in that than ordering just a burger.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that could be the big challenge. It's not really, you go to the grocery store, you don't really know. Like everything claims to be good for you. Everything claims to have some sort of health benefit. So I tell clients they can take a picture of it and bring it in the next week, and I'll look at it for them and help them decide whether it's good. With restaurants, it's really, about just coming up with strategies to make the best choice. I mean, it might sound obvious, but, maybe getting the salad instead of the fries, with your fish and chips. I have one client, and I'm not recommending this for everybody, but, I have one client that she just picks off a lot of the breading on her fish, when she gets fish and chips. So with restaurants, you just have to really do the best you can with what is on the menu. Yeah, but absolutely, we help people make all those choices. Also, too, we have our market as well. So we have a lot of great healthy choices in the market, and you don't, again, have to, it's not related to the menus that we give you. You don't have to buy the products in the market, but a lot of our clients do because it's convenient. They can trust the choices that are there. So, yeah.
Do a lot of people have, would you, I don't want to say the majority, but would a lot of people, does weight loss seem to be a main goal? I guess that's what I'm curious to know what kind of array of things people come to you for, but is weight loss obviously one of the bigger ones? I
would say weight loss is the major reason that people come to Simply for Life. And then usually with these other pre-existing conditions, they're hoping that the weight loss, and it does, will help them with those other pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
So so I would see, right now we're doing Quick 15, quick kickstart. So some people just want to, it's not a diet typically, we really want it to be more of a lifestyle. But for those people that do want to just kickstart and start, lose 15 fast, fast, healthy, quick, easy, then we can offer that as well.
So tell me a little bit more about this. This is a program?
So so for people that are interested in kind of kickstarting their weight loss journey, we can offer them a Quick 15, which is but it's easy. healthy, and it will be a little more restrictive than our typical menu would be, but it can help you kickstart if you want, because there are people that they have a wedding or they have something they want to go to, so we can do that too.
So with that kind of a quick 15, and then you could integrate more of it starts off more strict, but it would build into something more reasonable.
Right, exactly, absolutely. So it would start off more regimented, but then we would transition you into a lifestyle, so a menu that you can use as a lifestyle.
Okay.
What
for people that are your clients and they come to you for maybe trying things on their own and failing, what would you say are some of the most common themes of why they were not successful on their own?
A lot of it is education, and I think the problem is that the information is so it's all over the map, and people really don't know what to do, and so they pick a little bit of this and they pick a little bit of that. I'll have clients that will say, I'm eating keto desserts because on their menu. So they just assume, well, because it's keto, then it must be helping me with weight loss.
Right.
Well, if you're on the keto diet, then maybe it would, but because you're not doing the keto diet consistently, then a lot of those keto products actually are quite high in fat. They're quite high, and so that might not work for them. So I think that combination of misinformation, and also a lot of my clients have tried everything, and so they have a little bit of these different little bits and pieces from different programs, and it's usually typically things haven't worked for them. They've seen dramatic weight losses in the beginning, but then they haven't been able to maintain it over the long term.
That's so true.
But it worked for them for a little while at one point. So they'll think, well, I can't eat carbs because I know those are bad for me. And I'll say, no, you can eat carbs. That doesn't actually. This is a balanced menu. So that's what I find are the major issues. Is that people just it's information, it's knowledge.
Sometimes it's what they want. I had a friend who was doing Atkins and drinking red wine. Then you're not doing Atkins then.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately, you're just having a lot of fat and red wine. So it didn't work.
Didn't work for them. Surprise.
It didn't work. We're running out of time, Jesse. So where do people find you if they want to get in touch?
Yeah, so we're located in St. Stephen at 16 King Street. So please feel free. Anybody can, drop in, come visit us at the market. If I'm not with a client, I'd love to talk to you. Or you can book an appointment at info.ststephen@simplyforlife.com and come in and discuss your nutrition and wellness goals with me, and we'd love to talk to anybody that is interested.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here.
It's been so great. Thank you, Vicki.
My guest today has been Jesse Dunfield, nutrition and wellness coach. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Southwest Magazine.